Hello everyone, this is Aaron and you are watching Aaron's Writings. This is our third episode and I honestly did not think that I would make it this far. I have been procrastinating for 3 days to shoot this and now finally I'm doing this. Today we're going to talk about my writing Undated number 9. So the writing. I sit numbed with the plate with me. The plate of endless duties. The ones I once lovingly took. This plate, along with my thoughts, is pretty heavy to hold. I want to put it down, but how? Can I unsay the promises and return the duties? The plate might kill me if I don't abandon it, but so could the guilt if I did. If I failed my duties, if I broke the plate. So let me start off by saying that this is also one of the older writings. Most of the writings that are undated are older because back then I was just starting to write and I did not actually think that my writings were something more than an outlet of my feelings, and I did not think that I would actually read them in future. At this point, when I wrote this, I was in college the first time around. Those of you who know me know that I went to college twice. So the first time around, I was in Amity University, Noida, and I was so stressed that you cannot imagine because I actually did not want to go to college that year. I wanted to take a gap year and I was planning to go abroad for further studies, but that could not happen because of some familial things. So anyway, I went to Amity. I took a late admission. The school was not in the list of the colleges that I had picked out to go to, but at that point I did not have much of a choice. So I was like, okay, let's fill in the forms, let's go there. So I took the admission, I gave the interviews and I got in. So the first few months were nice. I would not say I was enjoying. I was traveling for the first time. The college was not exactly in my state. I would have to take the metro out of the city and then from there I would take a rickshaw that would take me to college. So it was all new and I did not like traveling back then. I barely socialized and everything. So it was very new for me. And on top of everything, on top of having to socialize daily and maintaining grades, it was my goal to have a scholarship by the end of the semester. So I was working very hard. After school, I would just sit at the library and do homework and do studies even before the tests got announced. Looking back, I feel like it was a very good time in my life, but I was very stressed and I wasn't able to do anything. And at that time, I was very new to socializing, as I've said. I had another group of friends outside of college and I would meet them after finishing my studies and after doing my homework. From the library, I would directly come to Delhi and I would directly go to them before going to home. That schedule was not very healthy for me because I came home late, which meant I slept late. I actually could not sleep at night at that time. I would run on like 4 hours of sleep, and that is for a person that needs at least 10 hours of sleep a day to function. So I started getting migraines and it was back then I was not getting any help. I wanted to get help, but I did not know where to go. And when my father took me to the doctor, he just told me that it was nothing and there's nothing to worry about. I knew that was not true, but whatever, life went on. So I wrote this mid-semester. I sit numbed with a plate with me, the plate of endless duties, the ones I once lovingly took. Now the duties that I am talking about is the duties I put on myself and the duties that others put on myself. At that time, I used to have this friend who was not doing well mentally, and I and one of my other friends took it upon us to make him feel better, and then keeping the grades up and spending time with my family. That was also very important. These things don't seem much right now, but at that time, it was very hard for me. There were like 8 classes and with a ton of homework daily and a ton to study and then maintaining yourself, which I barely did, honestly. I did not lose weight at least, but I had a goal to put on some weight. I failed badly at that. And then I was also depressed at that time myself, and that is why achieving all these things was very important for me, because that would mean that I'm improving, that my grades would mean that I am something and I'm not an imposter. And I was finally having a social life, and I did not want to lose that, because having a social life was something that I had wanted for all of my school life, but I did not have any. This plate, along with my thoughts, is pretty heavy to hold. I want to put it down, but how can I unsay my promises and return the duties? The plate might kill me if I don't abandon it, but so could the guilt if I did, if I failed my duties, if I broke the plate. You know how people say that there's so much on my plate? That's where I got the idea to write this. So it was very clear to me that I wanted to abandon the plate, that I wanted to abandon the duties, that they were not serving me anymore. And instead of bringing me happiness, they were actually making my life a little worse. Saying this right now again seems like an exaggeration, but upon remembering the days that I spent, it was useless. And the main reason why it was so hard to break the plate was because I knew I would feel so much guilty after, that I lost this opportunity. What if I could get admission in college or not? What if I could get more friends or not? Who knows if we would even have the money to be able to send me to college again? Those were the things that kept me from dropping out at that time. In this piece, I was basically trying to explain to someone how I felt at that time, and the plate was just the perfect metaphor, because my plate was full. And just so you know, I did break it. I broke it hard, and I don't regret it. Every now and then I think back and I wonder if I hadn't broken the plate, if I hadn't dropped out of that college, if I had continued with the same friends, where would I be right now? I know that I would be more successful, probably at a nice job with a nice paycheck, but I would not have grown as much as I have by taking the paths that I did. So yeah, that was the piece for today. I hope you liked it, and if you did, please let me know by commenting below or giving this video a thumbs up. Thank you for watching. This is Aaron's Writings.